Yo guys, what is up, and welcome to my LBA Season 5 Week 9 Team Builder, and, oops, I think I just screwed up here for a second. Yeah, I have abilities to edit this sheet now, so I guess I accidentally pressed a bunch of A's, but that's the way it started, I guess. So this week, we are going to be taking on my good friend Gearhart and the Seahluchas. He's 2-6 with a -10, but he has beaten me in the past, and he's a pretty solid battler, and he has a pretty decent team to fare up against mine. Not saying that I'm going to lose or anything. I'm saying that I intend on winning, because I always intend to win, as you would figure. But anyways, his team is Kieran Black, Heat Ran, Greninja, which can only use X and Y moves, so no tutor moves, Vaporeon, Staraptor, Hitmontop, Crocodile, Mega Scizor, Celebi, and Ampharos, and yeah, that's his team. It's not that fast. He's got Greninja, which is very fast, but after that, his only mons that exceed base 100, well, that hit base 100 are Staraptor and Celebi. So his team's not exceptionally fast, but he does have a couple pretty fast mons and Greninja, which is just blazing fast, even though it's not as fast as some of the things on my team, but no, aside from the point. So looking at this team, I had a pretty good idea of what I wanted to do against him, and I definitely saw some glaring weaknesses and ways to wear him down, so I'm in a bit of a rush, so I'm just going to go through what I have this week and why I brought it. So first of all, we've got Killua, my Mega Manectric, and this week I can run Lightning Rod because he has no Tracers, which is nice, and he does have an Ampharos, which I don't think he'll bring because I have a lot of stuff that can kill it, but in the case that he does, and I predict it right, I could get a Lightning Rod boost. But this week I'm running Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Flamethrower, and Signal Beam, and yes, I finally don't have to run HP Ice, which is something that's kind of cool, because Flamethrower, Signal Beam, and so Bug, Fire, Electric hits his team really hard. His best switch-ins to it, he can try and switch in Crook to attempt to block a Volt Switch, and if I predict it right, boom, you got hit by a Signal Beam. Of course, I can just kill Scizor with the Flamethrower. Celebi takes 4 times damage from Signal Beam. Ampharos, I can't really hit it above neutral, but I'm still hitting it hard. Kieran Black is something that I can't hit exceptionally hard, but unless he's running Roost, I can definitely wear it down if I get my Stealth Rock up. And Heatran can take some hits, but if I can just play around with that, if it comes down on T-Bolt and then takes a Volt Switch, that's going to take a lot of damage. And looking at my spread, I'm running max special attack with 220 in speed with Timid Nature. That's going to allow me to outspeed base 100s like Staraptor before I Mega Evolve, and that will also let me outspeed his Greninja by quite a bit if it's running max speed after I Mega Evolve. So I just want to be safe with this. I could run quite a bit more bulk investment, but I just want to make sure that I can get the free and safe Mega Evolution off against a non-scarfed base 100 or lower. So that's just kind of what I was thinking about, and then the rest I just dumped into various EVs to make sure that I have the right amount of HP, and 4 in each defense because I can. And of course 0 HP attack IVs, which I don't think he actually has a Foul Player, or he has a Crocodile, but that's not really something that you'd imagine using Foul Play, so you know, it's just good to always have that for whatever reason. And Manectric just does pretty good against his team in general, especially if I can get Stealth Rock up, then I will be in a very good spot to put a lot of pressure on his team with this thing, and I definitely can foresee it cleaning through his team late game. So next mon is Yashido, our Excadrill. And this one, I'm running the normal Life Orb Sand Rush one, and this time I'm going to be running EQ, X Scissor, Iron Head, and Rapid Spin. Running Rapid Spin because we are running Talonflame this week, as you can see, and I prefer running Rapid Spin over Defog if I can, because I don't want to get rid of my own Stealth Rock. And I'm running Jolly Nature with 180 speed EVs because Greninja with a Choice Scarf, can outspeed Adamant, Excadrill, and the Sand, and I really don't want that because I want Excadrill to absolutely smash his team because it can. So even though we sacrifice a tiny little power by going from Adamant to Jolly Life Orb Excadrill still hits really hard, and it outspeeds his entire team. So I'm pretty fine with this. Excadrill just does a whole lot of work against his team. His best switch-ins to it, I guess, I'm suspecting that he may carry Sugar Berry or Air Balloon on his Heatran if he brings it. His best switch-ins, Physically Defensive Vaporeon, Physically Defensive Hitmontop's probably the most likely one. He could also go Physically Defensive Crook or Scizor. But I do have X-Scissor to hit Crocodile and Celebi for super effective damage, and X-Scissor just does tons to Celebi, and my coverage just hits his team really well. I could run Rock Slide, but the reason I'm not running Rock Slide I'm running X-Scissor over Rock Slide is because all Rock Slide hits is Staraptor, and Excadrill has a very, very good chance to kill Staraptor anyways from full with an Iron Head. It's a guaranteed one-shot with Iron Head if Stealth Rocks are up, and since the main 2 stabs he uses are Brave Bird and Double Edge, it's most likely that he will take some damage before I'd come in to Revenge Kill it. And I just want to check real quick my IVs for something, so I'll just pause. Okay, so I was just checking because I forgot to check it to make sure that Excadrill with the Jelly Nature could outspeed Max Speed Heatran and Mega Scizor, and I can't outspeed Heatran, and Mega Scizor is 2 points slower than Heatran, so I'm good outspeeding those if I'm out of sand. And Excadrill just does a whole lot of whopping against his team, so I definitely think it'll be a big player. Next, I wanted to go for my bulky core because I knew that I wanted these 2 things. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted afterwards. So first we got Killington, and it's just physically defensive, normal thing. I could run Speed Investment to try and outspeed Scizor, but he may just run max speed, and I don't want to invest a whole ton, like take a bunch out of our defenses to give it a bunch of speed, because Mandibuds just choose hits from Scizor really well. I consider, yeah, Rocky Helmet's an option, but I do like having lefties because on a flying type, if it's coming on rocks, I don't want to just have absolutely no passive recovery and be forced to roost and lose momentum. So this one I'm running Foul Play, which is to just foul play stuff, Roost, Knock Off, which I think could be handy on his switch-ins to just cripple his bulkier things, and then U-turn to gain momentum. I could have run like Taunt or something, but I just didn't really feel like I needed to. I also considered Toxic to get stuff like Kyurem, I guess, on the switch, but if I hit Kyurem with a Foul Play, it's gonna hurt a lot. So next thing I wanted was a thing to take on his special attackers, as well as his physical attackers, I guess, and Blissey fit the bill, just running max HP in defense with lefties and Natural Cure, running Stealth Rock, Soft Boiled, Thunder Wave, and Seismic Toss. Normal Blissey stuff. This thing lets me take on Greninja well. It gives me Stealth Rocks, which I think is always really nice, and he does have a couple ways to get rid of him. He's ran Defog Staraptor, and he also has Hitmontop for Spin, which I definitely think he could bring to check my Excadrill and T-Tar, but of course I do have this guy right here, which can take care of a Hitmontop pretty okayly, I'd say. And I considered running like Fire coverage to hit Scizor, but I have Mandibuzz to kill it off, so I wasn't exceptionally worried, and I also have Killua to revenge it, so I was pretty confident that Lucy wouldn't be bothered too much by all of that stuff. And this bulky core does take on his team pretty nicely, so I think I will be able to fare well against him. I think he might bring like Taunt Heatran or something like that, so I'll definitely have to be looking out for it, but I don't know, Blissey's just good against his team. It blocks his Greninja from doing much. It stops an offensive Celebi, Ampharos, anything that fits that kind of bill. It can take hits from anything. Kyurem B, it can definitely hurt, so I'd love to get a T-Wave on that thing, but Kyurem B is definitely revenge killable with my team. So next thing I added was Mustang, Talonflame, and I just decided to run Choice Band because he really doesn't have many answers to banded Brave Birds. He has Heatran, and I figure if I can get Stealth Rock up and keep on spamming Brave Bird, it's going to break down that Heatran pretty well. If I recall correctly, to especially defensive Tran, banded Brave Birds do like 30%-ish, and even if he is running physically defensive, then it's not that good to take on Manectric. So it gives me a Volt Turn core, and I'm running Brave Bird, U-Turn, Flare Blitz, and the meme move is Me First, because I also considered running Taunt, but I guess Me First, I was thinking maybe if he had Stone Edge Heatran and Talonflame was on its last legs, and I was wanting that thing, I could hit it with a Me First and get a basically +2 Stone Edge off on that thing, because Me First does give you a +1 boost to whatever attack you go for, which is kind of kinky. I probably won't use it, but you know, it's just there, and I thought it was my best option so that I won't lose momentum or anything like that. But you know, Talonflame pretty good against his team. And I am actually running Jolly instead of Adamant. The only reason that is so I can outspeed Greninja, because I know that he could try and run Water Shuriken and try and get off a lot of damage on me, and also so I can just be 100% sure I can U-turn around on a non-Scarf Greninja. but it's mainly there to dodge a water shuriken and hit it with a Brave Bird or a U-turn. Banded Brave Bird or Banded U-turn almost one-shots Greninja if it's Dark type. After Rocks, I think it probably can, but I'm not going to check. I just tested out and it did a lot. But Talonflame, it's just really good against his team. Like I said, he only has that one good switch into with Heatran, and Heatran gets whittled down very well, so I can definitely see that I can clean through his team late game with a mon like Talonflame or Killua or even Yashiro. So all that's left now is Tyranitar, and I could have also brought Gothitelle. Gothitelle's been on the bench for a while, and I don't know, I just haven't been feeling like using her. So I went with Didara as our last option, and it's back! Choice Scarf Tyranitar. We have not used it once this season, so this is the first time we're bringing it this whole season. And I just love Choice Scarf T-Tar. It's just really fucking good against his team. It picks off a lot of things. The only thing it can't outspeed, aside from Choice Scarf Mons, is Greninja. Which, even if I was Jolly Max Speed Scarf, it doesn't outspeed it. And I don't know if he'll be creeping on that, or I don't know what he'll do, so I'm just going to not even try outspeeding that. So I'm running Adamant Choice Scarf, and T-Tar can with an Adamant Nature, can outrun base 101s, while still, with a Choice Scarf it can outrun base 101s with an Adamant Nature, and his fastest mons aside from Greninja are base 100, so I can run that Adamant Nature and outspeed them by a couple points. So I am running 252 attack with the Adamant Nature, 12 in defense, and which is just leftover, and 244, which lets me outspeed those base 100s by 1 point. And I'm running Stone Edge, Fire Punch, EQ, and Superpower. Now this hits his team very, very hard. It hits his team incredibly hard. He doesn't really have a whole ton for this thing. His main two options are his Intimidators in Hitmontop and Crocodile, which he might bring both, but I think he might just bring one. I don't know. I can't really touch Hitmontop, but I do have Superpower, which does a ton of damage to Crocodile. I don't think I can two-shot it after I'm intimidated, since I do get the attack drop, but it also hits Hitmontop fairly hard, and I do have plenty of ways to beat Hitmontop. It can't take a special hit too well, and I can just outlast it with Mandibuzz by spamming Foul Play if I need to. That's one reason I considered running Toxic, because I can't touch Hitmontop that well, but you know, we're not going to worry about those kind of things. But Tyranitar, another thing that can clean through his game, Revenge Killer. It makes it so I'm not, so I know that I can Revenge Kill Kyurem, Non-Scarf Staraptor, Scizor. I don't think I can take a +2 Bullet Punch, but I can hit it with a Fire Punch and it's going to do a lot of damage. I think it does around 75 or so. It's just a really hard hit, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Tyranitar can clean through his game. I have a lot of mons that all four of my mons can do the job of cleaning through his team. They're all outspeed a good majority of his team. T-Tar can outspeed Greninja, Excadrill can outspeed a couple things outside of the sand, but Manectric and Talonflame outspeed his whole team. So I have a lot of options to put a lot of pressure on his team, and with those Stealth Rocks up, if I can prevent Rapid Spin or Defog, I will just put tons of pressure on his team and make it really hard for him to switch around, and preferably force him to sacrifice things so I can get free kills and just rely on my walls so that I don't have to lose my sweepers. So that's the team. I think it's pretty good. I didn't take a whole ton of time to build it, but that's just because I'm pretty confident in the fact that I can assess what works best against my opponent. I know my team, I know how it works. I didn't want to bring things like Superior because the combination of Heatran plus Mega Scizor means that Superior can't touch one of them because I have to choose between HP Ground or HP Fire, and so I just can't really break through that combo. Some of my other mons, I guess that I didn't bring. Swampert, it's not that great against his team. Amoonguss gets beat by Scizor if he's running Aerial Ace. Gets beat by Greninja unless I'm running Specially Defensive. Kyurem, Heatran, a lot of things shit on that, so I didn't want to bring it. Overall, I like my team. I think it's the best 6 I could possibly bring against him, but I could have overseen something. I don't think I did, but I could have. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to drop a like and a comment. If you're curious why I didn't bring anything in particular or why exactly I brought a certain thing, ask away. I love reading comments if you guys didn't know. And yeah, that's enough of that. So I'll see you guys later. Enjoy your days. Peace.